Okay, here I am live broadcasting to the Jam Chat yet again. Let's see if it's working. Okay, here I am live broadcasting to the Jam Chat yet again. Let's see if it's working. I guess here I am live broadcasting to the Jam Chat yet again. I could just like ask some questions and see what happens. Like, what if I just like ask some questions? I'm curious, what is the distance to the moon? I've always wondered that. I don't know if it actually will answer that question. Will it detect a question and see? How many Bitcoins are there total? No, we don't get any answers. Okay, so I'm going to end this Jam Chat session. Okay, let's see if the live feed is now actually active. I've just been told that the session is active. Okay, that looks great. Okay, so I'm just here on my podcast, podcasting out to the world. It's a beautiful day in West Vancouver. I do have some questions though. Like, I've always wondered, how far is the moon from planet Earth? I've never actually known the answer to that question, so I wonder if that will automatically be detected, and if AnswerBot will answer me. Another question that I've long had is, how many Bitcoins are there actually in existence, and how many will there ever be? I've never known the answer to that question. I don't see the answer bot triggering automatically. Okay, my name is Matt Velez. I'm podcasting here from West Vancouver, Canada. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I'm just doing my thing up here. But as always on my podcast, this is a podcast about curiosity. I like to ask a lot of questions. First question that's always been on my mind is, how far is the moon from planet Earth? I've never actually known the answer to that question. And I've long wondered, and how wonderful it would be if someone could just answer that question for me in the moment. Another question that I have is, what is the supply of Bitcoin? I've always wondered if Bitcoin had a limited supply or not. But I don't know the answer to that question. And I don't know. I think there's lots of awesome stuff, that happens, but I'm wondering how the new imaging system that Midjourney just released works. Do any of you guys know? Have you seen that? I think it uses ultrasound or something, but I'm not actually sure. We'll see if that actually works. Let's see. So now the answer bot doesn't need to be invoked. You just naturally ask questions and it provides answers here. Okay, there you go. Do you guys, are you familiar with a philosopher named Socrates? I'm wondering when Socrates was born. I'm also wondering if he was before or after Aristotle. And I don't actually know how he died. I'd love answers to all of those questions. I wonder what's going to happen here. Is it going to trigger different answers? And I think you can just kind of like proceed, and then as you guys, as questions come up, they'll be answered naturally here. But who's the issuer of the stablecoin called Circle? Do any of you guys know? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to Jam Chat like this. And when I'm chatting over here, I'm wondering, do you know who the founder of Coinbase is and when it was founded? Because I don't actually know. I've often wondered that. Okay, so we're having our jam chat here. I'm just going along, and a question naturally comes up in the chat, like, Max, where did you go on holiday last week? I don't even know if it's going to try to answer that question, but let's see if that comes up with an answer. No, I guess that's not going to trigger it. Oh, no. So what if I ask kind of like a personal question about Steve? Steve says he's going on a camping trip, and I'm like, oh, how long is your camping trip going to ask, Steve? I wonder if that's going to work. And then we could ask questions about, like, what is the chemical reaction happening on the sun that is emitting all this energy? Do you guys know the answer to that? I don't actually know. So I'm a little bit surprised that that question didn't trigger answer bot. Why did that take so long? Okay, I see. Maybe you just kind of like need to keep talking. I mean, who wrote the book Watchmen? It's a graphical novel. I don't know if you guys know it. I'm just curious who wrote that. And Similarly, I'm wondering what the consensus view was of the book Middlemarch when it was published. What did critics think of that? And I'm also curious, kind of how Shakespeare died. I've never actually known how that guy died. Is anything known about that? Okay, here I am, Matt Velez, podcasting yet again, live from West Vancouver, Canada. Sunny today. Lovely day. I love lovely days like this. I've been meaning to get out for a run, but haven't yet managed to. But yeah, here we are. What can we do? I wonder, does the gem chat work? Let's see. Okay, yeah, that seems to work. Good. Okay. Now, what if I say something like, is Toy Story 5 out yet in Canada? I don't know. I've been wondering if that's out. No. Okay. What about the movie The Usual Suspects? When did that come out? I'm not sure. And who was the star in that movie? I don't even know. Did you guys see that movie, by the way? It's the best. I love that movie. I love the ending. Do you remember how it ended? That I really thought that was a funny ending. Yeah. So now I'm just gonna keep talking. Do you guys know the mechanism for like a nut allergy? Like if you're allergic to nuts, what's going on there? Like, I think that triggered a little bit too quickly. Yeah. Did you guys see the news today of what Midjourney just released with the ultrasound imaging? It's freaking wild. I'm now wondering how many pencils have ever been produced in the history of the world. Is it possible to get that? Who wrote the book The Colony? Do you know the author of the book The Colony? I'm not sure. I'm now I'm just keep talking, and let's see. I'm just gonna keep asking questions. What's the age of the actor Mel Gibson? Do you know how old Mel Gibson is? And what's the name of the movie that he's working on? He's been working on a movie for a long time. I forget. It's coming out soon. Okay, this is actually working quite good. Okay, I'm pretty happy. Do you have any sense for how expensive this kind of live inference of audio is going to be? Is this going to actually bankrupt Matt? I wonder. Okay, that's a mistake. Quiet. Thank you. Okay, here we are again. Your host, Matt Belez, online, podcasting from sunny West Vancouver, Canada. Love living in this place in the world. Very lucky to be here. What else can I say? I mean, it's just a special spot, right? It's a special spot. Let's see. We're just going to come back here, fix the screen, and yeah, I guess one of the things I've long wondered is, where is wood produced most in the world? Do you guys know? I don't really have a degree in forestry. I've never really thought about it, but like I've often wondered that, an answer to that question. Um, I it would be nice to kind of see. Okay, that's interesting. What about I'm interested in knowing the number of Model Y vehicles that Tesla produced in America last year, because I was looking something up in the New York Times, and that question would really be handy to know the answer to. It's taking a long time for it to trigger. It would be nice to trigger a little bit more quickly. Let's see. What if I change the question and I want to compare it to the number of Rivian vehicles that were produced last year in America, and then I'd like to know kind of like how much more revenue Tesla made on those vehicles relative to the revenue that Rivian made on the vehicles. That would be fascinating if we could figure that out. Do you know who wrote the book, The Tao of Physics? I've heard this book recommended to me, but I've never actually seen someone answer. I'm curious about like how the book Middlemarch was received when it came out and was published to the world by George Eliot. What was the reception like? No, I'm just going to keep talking about various topics that I see, record players, whatnot. What do you guys know about Gord Downie? Gord Downie, I think, was the lead singer of the Tragically Hip in Canada, but is he still alive? I'm not sure. Yeah. How many provinces are there in Canada? I've been up to Canada several times, but I've never known how many provinces there are. And I think there's a baseball team there. I think there's a baseball team in Canada. Is it just one or is it two? Where is it based? Do you know anything about the baseball team in Canada? And so here we go, just continuing to talk. Let's see if the question triggers. Okay, I think we're live again. Here I am, sunny West Vancouver, podcasting from my office studio. My name is Matt Belez. Very glad to be here. Love hosting this every Friday. I talk about all kinds of topics around AI, Bitcoin, and all kinds of other nonsense. And if I had buddies, we'd be joking around all the time. Sadly, I'm here all alone, podcasting by myself. But often in the work that I do, I have all kinds of questions that come up. So I'm going to see if we can have some of those questions answered today. The first question I have is, how old is the Lightning Network in Bitcoin? It's been around for a while, but I actually don't know when it started. And I'm also curious, who is the main author on the Lightning Network paper, that original paper? And, let's see if we get an answer that is satisfactory to that question. But it looks like my follow-up question did not trigger. Oh yeah, it did eventually trigger, but it was really slow. I'm gonna start. Maybe what I'll do is I'll ask a question and then I'll start counting to see how long it takes. Do you guys know how ultrasound imaging technology works? Because I don't know the answer to that question. And then if I start counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, so that's not too bad. Let's see. That's pretty good. Okay, so we're going to talk about all kinds of topics. One of the questions that I've long wondered also is, who issues the stablecoin USDC? Do you guys know the answer to that question? Or maybe AI will answer it for us. I'm curious about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. I saw that the World Cup is happening right now, and I saw that Canada played yesterday. What was the score in the Canada game, and who did they play? I don't know. And then I'll just, talk about some of the stuff I'm seeing out the window. I see some leaves and stuff. Okay, yeah, that didn't work out. The detected question took like 20 seconds. Gosh. All right, here I am, Matt Velez, podcasting again from my podcast studio in my office in sunny West Vancouver, Canada. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all again. And, right out of the gates, I thought I would start with a question for everyone. How far is the sun from the Earth? Do you guys know the answer to that question? Moreover, another question, or related question, I guess, is how long does it take for light to travel from the sun to the Earth? I'm interested in that question too. And like something that's never been clear to me is kind of, actually, I'm just wondering. Okay, yeah, it looks like the question about, well, I could try asking it again. How long does it take for light to travel from the sun to planet Earth? Let's ask that question and see if we get an answer. And the triggering needs to be fast. If it's not fast, it's just silly. Now the triggering is very poor here, unfortunately. Yeah. Questions are not triggering at all. That's disappointing. I thought we had made it more robust. What if we do something like, who wrote the book The Rubicon? I'd like to know the answer to that question. Let's see, will that trigger? Okay, that triggered, but there are several questions missed there. And then if I keep talking and I say something like, when did that first iPhone come out? I wonder what it'll do. Will it pick that up or not? And then I can keep talking and we can just keep having a conversation on our podcast. Yeah, I wish it was a little bit faster than that, though. I'll do another one of these, like, who invented the record player? And then I'll start counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's like 8 or 9 seconds before that question was detected. I think it's taking too long to detect questions. The triggering needs to be faster. I think we should be more permissive and trigger more frequently. So tolerate more false positives than false negatives. I think that's a better experience. Do you know who the founder of Canada is considered to be? Because I've read conflicting reports about that. And then similarly, who would you say is the founding father of America? And did those two people ever meet is another question I have, like in history. Did those people ever meet? Now I'm wondering why none of these questions are getting answered. Okay, here we are, podcasting again live, hoping that the triggering will be better this time, but it's still quite slow. So I'm wondering if we just need to be a little bit more optimistic about how we trigger here, and I want to get the timing right. So let's say something like, when was Jordan Peterson born? And I'm also interested in knowing, like, where did Jordan Peterson teach? Because I know that he was a professor, and what was he a professor of? That's also something that I've never known the answer to. So let's see if we get answers to those questions. And I'll keep going. I'll keep going over here. I'm wondering, how much revenue did Apple make from their AirPods product in 2023? It's just like a random piece of data that I would never be able to look up on my own and see if it triggers. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Not bad. It triggered pretty quickly. And then what if I do something like, I don't know. Well, we can just keep chatting about some of the news that's happened in like Bitcoin land and AI land. We cover lots of topics like that constantly, but just keep blah, blah, blah. Lots of transcript text. And then out of nowhere, I might kind of roll in with a question to the effect of, talking about Lightspark and David Marcus. and seeing that they're in the news lately because they've just struck up a new partnership. So I'm wondering, what is the latest partnership that Lightspark has struck with whom? Can you look that up, please? And we'll see. And then, yeah, the triggering is not too bad actually. And yeah, that's pretty good. And then, do you have any news about Block's Spiral division? I'm wondering what they've been up to lately, because I haven't really heard much about them. And see what we say, and then we'll just keep going. We'll just keep chatting, and then see like. No, okay, no, that's not. Well, that's pretty fucking powerful. Wow. Okay. What if I do something even more ripped from the headlines? I saw that Midjourney just released something 2 days ago. Do you know what it was? And then I'll just keep talking and see what that is. Okay, here we are. Again, I'm broadcasting from West Vancouver live. I'm doing some parallel vibe coding and vibe specking work right now, where I'm working on a spec for how we might integrate Lightning Wallet into a product called Buzz. It's a lot of fun. But questions come up often, and I might ask something like, what is the Sprout project from Block all about? Do you know anything about that? And then just carry on talking and see if a question triggers. That would be interesting. And I'll just keep talking, and then talk about NVIDIA, talk about Apple, talk about the recent World Cup stuff that's happened. In fact, there's an interesting question there, is like, what is Canada's World Cup team doing lately? Did they play yesterday? I'd love to know the score. And then we can just keep going and see if that triggers. And I could ask a question kind of like, what do you know about Steve Lee, the person that runs the Spiral team at Block? I'm interested in what you can come up with in real time, and then we'll keep talking and then ask a question about another host like David King, who also appears on the PBJ podcast. I think he used to work at Google, but I'd love to know more about David King. You can go maybe ask a question like, who wrote the graphic novel The Watchmen? Do you know that? I'm not sure if you've ever read it, but it's a pretty good book, and we can go back and forth. We have lots of people talking back and forth. And I was actually wondering this question the other day. Is Hewlett Packard still an independent company, or did someone buy them? I don't know. I thought that maybe they went private again. I forget. And I was also wondering if eBay is still around as a publicly traded company, and what its market capitalization is. Yeah. And I want to just keep talking and see what it says. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, this is all looking quite reliable, actually. I see a book on my desk that's called The Tao of Physics. Who wrote The Tao of Physics? That's something I'd like to know and see if AI can trigger it correctly here. Still a little bit slow to trigger, but what am I going to do? Yeah. Okay, it's nice to have this kind of intelligence. Could we even have the AI do calculations for us? Like, I'm interested in knowing, like, if you multiplied the market capitalization of Google times the number of employees that work at Google, what would that be? That's just an interesting question I'd like to put out there. And then we can keep talking, and that answer will kind of come back. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I see that. I should be testing actually right now. The audio is listening. I didn't realize that. Okay. So, but the transcript should go up live now. Okay, great. And I can see if I ask a question like, what's the distance from Earth to the moon? I've always wondered that and I've never known the answer. And then I can just keep talking and we can keep shooting the breeze and see how long it takes for the AI agent to actually trigger on that question. Is it going to trigger? No, it didn't actually. No, it failed. Now, what if we're talking about AI stuff, but did you see what OpenAI released just yesterday? That was really cool. And then I can try a question like, when was Shakespeare born? Is that going to actually trigger? I don't understand why I'm not seeing any questions trigger whatsoever anymore. Okay, here comes a fresh session. Let's check it out. Let's see how it's working now. Live transcription. Here we go. Well, broadcasting from sunny West Vancouver, Canada. Another lovely day, and as in all my podcasts, I'm very curious. Love to ask all kinds of questions. Let's see. What is the weather like in sunny Vancouver today? Let's see if we get that question answered, and see if it triggers. And I'm just going to keep talking and go on, and I could ask another question, something like, how far is the moon from planet Earth? And then I'll keep talking as well and count maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and see if that actually triggers. Okay, the question is triggering, but it takes too long. Like, for instance, if I say something like, what is a positron? I've always had that question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just counting now. See the question triggered, but it took over 15 seconds for it to trigger. So I don't consider that acceptable. I'll try another one. I'll say like, when did the movie The Usual Suspects come out? And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's like over 15 seconds for the question to trigger. That's just like totally unacceptable. The hosts of the show are not going to want that. Even if I ask something like, what is the hard cap for Bitcoin to see how many Bitcoin will ever exist? Let's see if that will actually trigger a question. And I think it eventually will, but it's just like takes freaking forever. Yeah, see, it eventually does. And then the question will trigger, it'll show up, All right, here we go. We're back live talking about cool Bitcoin and AI topics on Matt's version of PBJ. I have, I wish I could say that I had my friends here with me talking, but I don't. It's just me, just testing. And here I go, like I just sit here in my office and I ask questions. I say things like, how far is the Earth from the moon? And then I keep talking and see if the AI will detect my question and see how long it will take. Okay, that was not too bad. And I could say things like, when was the Bitcoin protocol invented? And then I can just keep going and see if the AI is going to trigger that. And then I could say things like, when did William Shakespeare die? And then I'll just keep talking and then see if it picks up that question as well. And we have all kinds of like funny things that happen, and you can ask questions and see what's going on. And okay, I think this is actually pretty good. I think we might be in a position to actually ship this. I think we might be able to ship it. Okay, maybe I'll just like try one more question, like, who wrote the book The Tao of Physics? I'm wondering who wrote that book. I have it on my desk and I'm looking at it right now. I might just think you got the answer right. Okay, this is pretty amazing. And I guess another question just is like, I'm wondering how expensive this live audio transcription is going to be for 90 minutes of audio using the ChatGPT real-time API. Is it going to bankrupt me? That's my question. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about what that's going to do, but I'm just going to keep chatting and see what happens. No. Okay, there we go. And what if okay, I guess I'm just going to stop now. Hi, Jen. How's it going?
So the social worker called me back.
Okay.
But Joey got moved to Pettitang.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So plan B, what I'm thinking might be easiest is just to have the keys stored at like Right or Prime Storage, like with the owners of those facilities.
I wonder if they would do that. They might not want to take that liability. By the way, what's the weather like in Ottawa right now? Yeah, I'm just testing something. Wanted to see if that was going to work. I'm having AI listen to my voice right now and answer questions. See, the AI just said Ottawa right now, light rain, about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. Look at this. I could ask a question like this. I'll say, who is Johnny DiGidio? Do you know what hospital he works at? And then the AI is listening. Let's see if it's going to trigger and answer the question. Who's Johnny DiGidio? It just picked it up. Let's see. It's doing the search. No, it didn't get it. It tried, but it transcribed it wrong. That's funny.
I don't know why he got moved there. It is a maximum security jail.
Okay.
150 kilometers from Toronto.
Okay.
It's called the super jail.
Yikes. I'm in the middle of a lot of work right now, so I have to let you go though. Yeah.
Okay, I'll brainstorm that.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye.